we both had our own issues. Like, we all have issues that we have to work on. Nobody's perfect in a relationship, but our communication was really poor. If he or I had an issue with each other, we would try and talk it out, but we would feel like we were being attacked by the other person. So it just went negative, like sour right away, and it just wasn't good, I guess. And then nothing really got solved, and it was just like full of resentment, and it was just lots of resentment. And then he deployed for 6 months, and it was really hard taking care of everything by myself, and it never got better, I guess, once he went away. We tried counseling, and we tried to make that work, and I think it made it a little bit better, but when he deployed, it kind of reverted everything that we had worked on, and then we just split up. Outside of the couples therapy, I went and got my own. And definitely my childhood, when I was 11, my parents separated, and they would fight often. Like, I wouldn't say, like, I had a pretty good childhood up until that point, but she ended up getting with a man who was very mentally abusive. It made me realize that that's something that I don't want for my child, but it also made it hard for me to learn to regulate my emotions and how to really know what, I guess, a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. And I think I had a lot of issues dating and stuff when I was growing up, and even with friendships I had a lot of issues with that too. But with Braylon, she doesn't have the anxiety that I've had. And she said a few times, like, oh, I wish you and Daddy lived in the same house. But we both of us always reinforce, like, positivity. And we're like, oh, but Daddy and I are really good friends, and we still live close, and we both love you, and that's all that matters. And we just always try and keep that positivity. So I feel like she definitely benefits from that, as opposed to the anxiety that I felt when my parents were separated. If I feel myself getting angry, I usually just stop talking, and we just like say, okay, I gotta go, bye, and we wait and sit on it, and then we talk after. So the pause gives me a minute to breathe and to clear my head, because right away all I'm seeing is anger and black, and just I'm overcome with that emotion, and I can't think clearly, and it's just, I don't even know what's coming out of my mouth. It just comes out. So that pause is like, okay, Brittany, like, calm down. What is actually going on? Like, why are you actually upset? Like, does it really matter, or are you overreacting? Because I do that a lot. So it just allows me that couple seconds to reassess, so that I can think through. Usually I will reach out to someone like my mom, and I'll talk to her about the situation and be like, okay, am I being unreasonable, or like I need to reflect on myself and like what I'm gonna say, and then I'll go from there. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't blow up sometimes right away, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and we're gonna talk about it after, and then I'll go back on the phone and be like, listen, I'm sorry for the way I reacted, this is how I should have done it, and whatever, because I'm only human. He's had 2 relationships since we've been separated, and it's been like 5 years or something. So we always meet together with the girlfriend before my daughter will meet her, just to kind of like feel out the person, and it just like makes me feel better. And then we do the same thing for him as well. Like, if I have someone in my life, when I feel ready or he feels ready that it's time to meet them, we'll always meet them first before Braylon will meet them, and then we'll just go from there. We talk so that I get to know her better, so it makes it easier for me. And like, even on her birthday this year, they were both here because we did the birthday here, and Braylon hadn't seen them in a few days, so she was like right attached to them. And I just kind of felt left out, because I was like, oh, like, I got all this stuff for like the birthday, and I planned it and everything, and then she only wants to talk to them. So it really sucked for me, but because it was her birthday, I just set it aside. But what I've been doing is I've been really honest with my daughter. So I think that being very honest and upfront helps her to learn how to deal with things when she's older. Other than that, like, with being open with my daughter, I just push it aside, because for me, I'd rather have a positive role model in her life when I'm not around to be there, than me be selfish and make things worse. Like, it's not going to help her then at all. Yeah, so there's that course online from the CFMWS. That course is a good resource too, because it tells you all the resources on there. But the Padres can be an immediate source of help. There's also, I know that there's at least 10 free sessions for couples counseling that you can get through. I got mine through the MFRC. And then there's always mental health. They'll help the military members, and that's helped me a lot work through my emotions and how I can handle things healthy. And then there's always like the emergency mental health crisis line, and you can always call MPs and ask. I've had quite a few people call me, and not me personally, but the detachment, to ask advice because they're going through a hard time.